Coming to you live from the town of Oyster Bay Ice Skating Center. You're listening to the New York Islanders High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Matchup tonight featuring Half Hollow Hills taking on Bellmore-Merrick. Bellmore-Merrick recently suffering their first loss of the year to the hands of Long Beach. And in terms of the standings, it is Long Beach that have claimed that top spot. 25 points through 15 games played, but that's the advantage Bellmore-Merrick has on Long Beach. As their 13th game of the year, 3 in hand on first place Long Beach. And one of those games in hand being tonight, where they take on Half Hollow Hills. And Half Hollow Hills, it's been an up and down season to say the least. These two squared off against one another not that long ago. On January the 2nd, it was a 10-6 win for Bellmore-Merrick. However, bit of a closer game than maybe the score would indicate, as Half Hollow Hills, after an atrocious first period in which they found themselves trailing 5-1, it was 3-0 at the 7:27 mark of the period before they scored their first goal, and then 2 more Bellmore-Merrick goals to take it 5-1 at the end of one. Roared back in the second period, and with a goal to start the third period, made it a 7-6 game. They were only down by 1, but that's when Bellmore-Merrick pulled away at the end with 3 goals in the matter of 1 minute, starting with Lucas Lucci, Anthony Vitale, and Chase Goldman contributing those markers. Each of them individually had great games as well for Bellmore-Merrick. It was a 4-point night for Vitale, a 4-point night for Luskoff, including a hat trick, 2-goal night for Goldman, and 3 apples for Harrison Naraki on the back end. As for Half Hollow Hills, they had 4 points from Jonathan Wheeler and 3 from Menexus. They were their best forwards in that game, as well as 2 goals from Alexander Blessy. Bad downside here tonight, none of those players for Half Hollow Hills, I believe with the exception of Blessy, are in the lineup tonight. They do get Petsola play in that game to potentially make up the difference. We'll see if it does, as we're set to begin action here live on LI Sports Network. New York Islanders High School Hockey, and the Dogs win the face-off to start. Try to get it into the zone, and on back for playing defense this game for Half Hollow Hills, number 23, Peter Menexus. Blessy will dump in. Or pardon me, that's Lucas, Jet Lucas, in the lineup tonight. Hills head coach before the game, Mark Pomerantz, and he shared with me that they're without their 4 top defensemen in this game. A couple of guys making their debut on the varsity squad in this one. Call it up from the JV team. Also without their starting goaltender once again in Maddox Franks, as the Hornets do establish possession in their own end. Menexus takes Peter Menexus, joined by Huang, rushing into the zone. Puck in behind the goaltender for Bellmore-Merrick. Getting the start tonight is Jonathan Cohen. Bellmore-Merrick, a drive and a save made. It was Luskoff with the rip. An early stop made by Cooper Tell. Tell, goaltender who took the loss in that first matchup against Bellmore-Merrick at the start of January. And just to speak to Bellmore-Merrick and their top scorers, Jordan Luskoff, 34 points, is the most in Varsity Conference 1. With that latest chance, Ian Vitale leading the way in terms of points for Bellmore-Merrick, with Lucas Lucci close behind as it's worked across. Chance here for the Dogs, and Cole Zinman played in behind. And So far, so good on the defensive end for Half Hollow Hills as a point shot got through and a save made by Tell through traffic. And it on back for the continued play of the Dogs. And now a stoppage as Bellmore-Merrick came back into the zone. Stephen DeGarry finds himself in the penalty box for Triple H. And so first power play opportunity of the game afforded to Bellmore-Merrick. They're clicking at a 25% rate this season. They're clicking at a 25% rate this season versus a penalty kill for Half Hollow Hills that is listed as 33.3%. Not sure if that's last game or if that's throughout the entire year. But not great stats for the PK for the Hornets. Carried in behind. Good rush here for Lucci. Lucci on back to Adelstein. Adelstein to Lucci. Lucci cuts middle. Rips a shot. A blocker save made by Tell. Great look there from Lucas Lucci. Now Lucci. Now right back out in front. Taken away and cleared down ice by the Hornets. Good work there from Alexander Blessy. On the far boards, gaining back entry into the zone, Zinman. Zinman across to Luskoff, couldn't get a shot through. Back with Jordan Luskoff in behind. Lucci in the near corner. Lucci in the near corner. Lucas Lucci carries wide, puts it right out in front, and once again, a couple of good sticks. This time getting the stick in was Josh Mossbacher. Half Hollow Hills trying to clear up that right point. They could not. Now a chance down low for Bellmore-Merrick, turned away by the left pad of Cooper Tell. And now a foot race. Mossbacher, he'll be the first one on it, but covering in defensively, it was Luskoff. That ends any threat shorthanded for Half Hollow Hills. Centering feed. Shot blocked, came off the stick of Adelstein. Adelstein with it in the corner. Pinned against the boards. Good play here from Jake Walney. And Hills gain possession of the puck to the line and just out of the zone as Chase Goldman attempted to keep it in at the blue line. He could not. First period between Bellmore-Merrick and Half Hollow Hills. Only 3 shots of the game belonging to the Bulldogs of Bellmore-Merrick. Helped out, of course, by the early power play. However, so far so good on the kill for Half Hollow Hills, and they do kill it off. So 1 for 1 tonight on the PK. Alexander Blessy, what a move. Creates some space, starts the zone exit. Head to Lucas. Lucas back to Blessy. Blessy, the shot and a save made, his first of the game by Jonathan Cohen. Or rather, starting goaltender tonight will be rather not Cohen, but Henry Legalia. Legalia, I should say. Henry Legalia. Legalia this year, making his 8th start, a 1.7 goals against average and 908 save percentage, as opposed to his fellow Tendy, Jonathan Cohen, with a 1.8 goals against average and 842 save percentage. Into the zone, right back come Bellmore-Merrick. Played down low, a chance here. Drive to the front of the net, another pad save made by Cooper Tell. This time it was Pasquarello with the opportunity. Goldman on the forecheck. Hills emerge with the puck. Carried up ice by Adrian Rao. Rao, one of the junior varsity player making the varsity step up that I had mentioned earlier for Half Hollow Hills. Getting through center ice. Chase Goldman cuts middle. Goldman looking for help. All 5 Half Hollow Hills skaters back, and he was only joined on the rush by Lucas Lucci, who has it in behind Cooper Tell. Lucci low to high, up to the point. Drops it off a shot, deflects, and goes wide. Back up top to the near point. Rayo is trying to go the other way with it, and a blocker save made by Cooper Tell. Good shift here for Bellmore-Merrick, as Zinman fires around to the line and just past the stick of Antonio Pasiccio, trying to keep in at that far point. Mossbacher in on the forecheck for Half Hollow Hills. Wins the board battle, and now pinned against said boards by Luskoff. Puck along the near boards. Center of the ice where it's skated free. Good move, Vitali. Good, better defensive play made by Wolney to break up the rush from Vitali. One of the more dangerous players in the New York Islanders High School Hockey League. Bellmore-Merrick right back in. With 8:07 left here in period number 1. Looking to break out on the far boards and sending one through toward the front of the net. Well, it's Winsky. Matt Winsky. Now skated up by Menexis. Menexis trying to put a move on Adelstein. Adelstein having none of it. Clears it right back out to center, where it's regathered in by Mossbacher. Mossbacher's pass intercepted. Chance for Adelstein. He's in. Adelstein turned away by Tell with the right pad. Cooper Tell is dialed right now for Half Hollow Hills. Puck flutters into the near corner. Battle ensues. Keeping the cycle going is Zinman, or rather that is Leonard Soraya. Bellmore-Merrick, though, right back in. Peter Menexis for the take here. And sent on goal from the neutral zone from Jet Lucas. Bellmore-Merrick's turn to try to clear. Goldman kicks it down low. And flying in after it, good forecheck here for Half Hollow Hills, was Jet Lucas. However, the puck escapes the center. Luskoff joined by a streaking, turned aside by Tell. Got it with the blocker. Jordan Luskoff shows off the speed on that last rush up ice. Lucas, near side. Turned over, Benson Huang ahead to Jet Lucas. Jet hits the brakes and fires in. Blessy trying to apply some pressure in the offensive zone for Half Hollow Hills. It's been few and far between. Getting outshot 7-2 to this point by Bellmore-Merrick. Cooper Tell has been a difference maker in the game thus far in between the pipes for Hills. Manfredi, good neutral zone turnover created, however, gathered back in by Goldman. And Chase Goldman will bank it back into Half Hollow Hills end of the ice, where it's taken over by Stephen DeGarry. Michael DeGarry not in the lineup tonight. Stephen's sibling, an injury, is what I was been told. Or I have been told. Bellmore-Merrick are offside. They must touch up. They do quickly. A little lethargic there on the back end for Half Hollow Hills. And backhanded right back into the zone by Stampano. Menexis behind the net. Attempting crisp break out of the zone. That's exactly what they get. Ahead to Mossbacher. Mossbacher dangles at the line, draws Manfredi offside. A bit of a delayed whistle. Face-off will come outside the Bulldog zone. Or as my friend and colleague Travis Quigley insists on calling them the Dogs. I'll work it in here from time to time. 4:44 left here, first period. No score between Bellmore-Merrick and Half Hollow Hills. Perhaps that the most surprising aspect of the game thus far. Two high-powered offenses. Menexis intercepted, lead ahead, shot denied! Vitale was a missile toward the front of the net, takes the shot, it would not go. Cooper Tell makes another outstanding save. Patsalos trying to clear, cannot. To the line, held in by Jasak. Now in behind, centering feed, went wide. Another big opportunity there for number 19 in blue and red, Anthony Vitale. Good zone possession here with 4 minutes to go in the first period. Shot directs wide. Loose puck gathered back in by Luskov. Luskov, big collision in the corner. Puck comes free and a shot blockered away by Tell. Luskov getting the business now from Winsky. Bellmore-Merrick emerged with the puck. Played across. Simpkins a shot. And a save made, no rebound. Cooper Tell, and after the fact, Wolny takes exception to a Bellmore-Merrick player in front. I believe it is number 17, Jordan Luskov. And Luskov is being ushered toward the bench area. He'll just be going for a change. Matter of fact, no calls coming out of that little scrum after the whistle. So the puck will be dropped to the left of Cooper Tell. Shot toward the front of the net, cleared out and ahead. Blessy fires in on goal from neutral ice, and that creates the cover and offensive zone draw for Half Hollow Hills. Not sure if they'll count that as a shot on goal as it originated from the neutral zone. Perhaps they will, as it, well, did in fact go on goal. 9-3 in favor of Bellmore-Merrick in the shot department to this point in the game. Face off to the right. Quick clear for Bellmore-Merrick. Pass blocked. Good play there by Lucas, getting in the lane. In behind Soraya. Try to feed the front of the net. Cut off once more and skated to center by Half Hollow Hills. Stephen DeGarry trying to go end to end. He got stalled at the blue line, resulted in a turnover, and right back into the zone. Look out! It's in! They score! Bellmore-Merrick break the ice and lead it 1-0. Following up the shot in toward Till from the neutral zone. It's going to go to Max Adelstein. Here it is again. See, Till thinks he's got it, and he does not. And just wisely following up the shoot-in from neutral ice was Max Adelstein as he collects his 5th goal of the season. 10th point, 1-0 for the defending champs. Another crispy breakout for the Bulldogs. Dumped in by goal scorer Adelstein. Rims around to the far corner. Hills attempting to break it out of the zone. Thwarted at the line by Naraki. Menexis. Hounded. Turnover created. Chance and a blocker save made by Tell. It ends up out of play. Huge opportunity. Point blank. That time for Leonard Soraya. He shakes his head as he goes off to the bench. Off the great forecheck that caused the turnover. 2:10 left, first period. Bellmore-Merrick ahead 1-0. Noah Carasquillo will pick up an assist on the goal and right off the draw. Shot wide. Parasquillo looking to add a goal to that assist he recently picked up. Yeah, Follow Hills clear it out the far side. Peter Menexis. Centers the pass that's carried in by Rao. Rao, a long shot. Gloved and ultimately held by LaGallia. Minute 43 left here, first period. Face off to the left of Henry LaGallia, netminder for Bellmore-Merrick. One cleanly by NYIHSHL, shot initially blocked, rebound, Blessy. Try to get Patsalos on the far boards, not on the same page. Set down ice will be an icing on the Bulldogs, so the Hornets will get another look here in the offensive zone. Again, for Half Hollow Hills, they are playing this game without their leading scorer, and in terms of the season, ranks 5th among varsity, both Conference 2 and 1 skaters. Jonathan Wheeler, 31 points, not in the lineup, as well as his goals teammate Fazio. Menexis plays it across to Stephen DeGarry off the face-off win. DeGarry down the boards, trying to center one across, and going down, making the block. That's a great defensive play made by number 18 there for Bellmore-Merrick. Zink and his shot, they score! Bellmore-Merrick double the lead, 2-0. As I mentioned, that defensive play by Zinman set the whole thing up, ultimately buried by Nicholas Pasquarello. And it's 2-0. Cooper Tell has been immaculate to that point. Goldman and Lucci picking up assists on the goal scored by Nicholas Parasquillo. And for Parasquillo, he's now up to 2 goals on the year. Depth for Bellmore-Merrick, providing the offense here in the first period, but a penalty has been assessed. Vitale is off. Power play chance for Half Hollow Hills, their first of the game. Of course, if they don't score in this 58.5 seconds, it'll carry over to the second period. In my experience, if you're going to score with a penalty that spans 2 periods, you got to do it now, not when it carries over. Poked out of the stick of Lucas. Short-handed break, Luskoff. Luskoff is in. The backhand scores! Jordan Luskoff. Short-handed goal, 3-0 Bulldogs. And maybe a surprising move here. Cooper Tell's night is over. He had played so well to start the game. Daniel DiPaolo is now in between the pipes for Half Hollow Hills. Luskoff, the goal. He's got a lot of them this season. Matter of fact, 22. Which in terms of the grand scheme of statistics, ranks him second most. Tied now with Daniel Lee of POBIT. Salos across, still a power play chance for Half Hollow Hills. A high shot gloved by LaGallia. Luskoff. Short-handed goal, 3-0. Favor of Bellmore-Merrick. Face off to the left of LaGallia. One in the defensive end by Goldman. Ripped around. Menexis, can he keep? He can. Peter Menexis. D-to-D pass. Stephen DeGarry now down low. Flex put right back out in front, and a save made by LaGallia as time expires in the first period. 1 minute and 1 second of power play time for Half Hollow Hills carries over in a period number 2. It was a great period for starting netminder for Half Hollow Hills, Cooper Tell, until about the 2-minute and 46-second mark, when Max Adelstein opened the scoring. And then shortly after, little over a minute, Pasquarello from Goldman and Lucci. Then with 43 seconds left in the frame, Jordan Luskoff made it 3-0, a shorthanded goal. As we go into period number 2, 3-0 Bellmore-Merrick, the defending champs over Half Hollow Hills. You're listening to the New York Islanders High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan and crew will be back for period number 2 in just a moment. Stay with us here and only on LISN. Welcome back to the Town of Oyster Bay Ice Skating Center, side of tonight's varsity level matchup between Half Hollow Hills and Bellmore-Merrick. Mentioned a goaltending change at the very end of that period for Half Hollow Hills. Well, scratch that. Daniel DiPaolo back on the bench and back in between the pipes for period number 2, Cooper Tell. Tell had been playing some excellent goal through the majority of that first period. And then a bit of an avalanche of goals toward the end of it. So perhaps to settle down the nerves of the Hornets netminder. It is Half Hollow Hills on the power play. Look out, fans, as that puck deflected over the glass and breezed right by the Canadian flag on its way toward the ground outside the arena. 1440, or outside the rink, I should say. Be something, wouldn't it, if it made it somehow outside of the arena. Face-off win and dump in, shorthanded there for Lucas Lucci. Lucci, an assist in the game thus far. Stephen DeGarry ahead to Blessy. Blessy had the puck poked from him, catches back up with it, sends across to DeGarry. DeGarry with a lane to the net, goes across and off a stick. Peter Menexis back with it at the far point. To DeGarry, Stephen DeGarry walks, drops for Lucas. Back up top, Menexis. Stephen DeGarry all the way across out of the reach of Blessy. He'll catch it off the ricochet. Alexander Blessy. Menexis back to Blessy. Poked away by Chase Goldman. Now Stephen DeGarry, a shot blocked. Getting in the way of that shot as the penalty expires. Great defense provided by number 9, Harrison Naraki. Jet Lucas, Half Hollow Hills, 5 aside. Look to break back into the Bellmore-Merrick end. Shot from DeGarry, blocked once more by Naraki. Mossbacher in the near corner. Stripped of the puck, and away come the Dogs. Lucas Lucci on his horse through center. Lucci, nice little drop pass. Backhanded right back out in front, Vitale. No one on the other end. Back come Half Hollow Hills. Nice deke there from Menexis, but jostled free of the puck. It rolls harmlessly on a goaltender, Legalia, who covers up. 13:15 left, so a little minute 45 gone this second period. A couple more shots on goal for Half Hollow Hills, but not ultimately the power play they were looking for. That carried over a minute and 1 second into this second period. Wang will take the draw for Half Hollow Hills to the right of Legalia, and he wins it back. But an aggressive, great play to intercept. Zinman is in. Zinman! Would not go. And the puck deflecting out of play. I believe Tell got a piece of it before it ricocheted into the netting. Another great look for number 18 and blue and red. Cole Zinman, 7 points, a goal, and 6 assists this year. Was hoping to get goal number 2. Would not be. Half Hollow Hills trying to replicate what Bellmore-Merrick just did in a quick out, resulting in a rush the other way. However, thwarted coming out of their zone. Patsalos trying to establish possession in the offensive zone. Centers one across, and healing it off the stick there was Benson Huang in front. Defended well. Meanwhile, Bellmore-Merrick right back in. Shot swallowed up by Cooper Tell. Coming off the stick of Vitale. (15-7) shots in the game favoring Bellmore-Merrick. Come into tonight with just one regulation loss, suffered at the hands of Long Beach. An incredible game that took place a couple of weeks ago. It's on the YouTube channel if you want to rewatch it, if you missed it by any chance. A rematch of the New York Islander High School Hockey League Varsity Finals. Making his way through center is Stephen DeGarry. Good rush up ice here for DeGarry. Puts it into the corner behind the net. Now takes it around. Stephen DeGarry still on the puck. Sets up Leonard a shot. Found its way through on goal. Steered into the corner by Legalia. Intercepted. Good read that time from Gavin Stark. Stephen DeGarry. Right back in the zone. Real couldn't keep it, and now Stark will dump in for Hills and go for a change. Wholesale change here for Half Hollow Hills. Period of the long change. Got to be careful when you take players off the ice, especially the defense, and especially if you're going to go 0-5. Intercepted by Blessy. Blessy to Mossbacher. Mossbacher a drive and a blocker save made in tight by Legalia. Perhaps his best save of the night. Josh Mossbacher back with it in the near corner. To Blessy. Blessy to Lucas. Back to Mossbacher. Mossbacher shot off a stick and out of play, and Mossbacher is frustrated after the fact. Two great looks on this shift for Josh Mossbacher. One denied by Legalia, the other redirecting off a defensive stick and out of play. 10:41 left, second period. Listening to the New York Islanders High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. Be sure to follow us on social media at LI Sports Network. We've got a busy night of hockey for you tonight, with basically every team in every league we cover playing simultaneously. As I will be heading up to Syosset Iceworks for the Farmingdale M3 versus Stevens Tech game that starts at 9:30. Which you can also find here on LISN. Wolny deflects in for Hills. First on it is Naraki. Naraki off the far boards and out of the zone. Carried ahead by Lucas Lucci. Lucci with Goldman streaking to the net. Nice defensive play made by Peter Menexis. And Menexis starts his way up ice. Gets around one dog. Trying to get around another. Does. Sharp angle try. Denied by Legalia. Off the far boards and ultimately out of the zone. Menexis trying to go right back in. One-on-one. Menexis to the forehand. Menexis turned away by the left pad of Legalia. Bellmore-Merrick. Goldman dumps right back in. Menexis playing defense, and usually a forward for the Hornets. Puts it to his partner Wolney, turned it over. A stuff-in try turned away by the left pad of Cooper Tell. Tell once again seemingly is rebounded following. No, they score! Announcers jinx at its finest. And it's Anthony Vitale making it 4-0 with the wrist shot high glove on Tell in the near circle. I'm sorry, Cooper. Truly right on cue there. Vitale the goal. Carasquillo and Lucci getting the assists. Carasquillo and Lucci each with multi-point nights. Vitale's 15th of the season. And right back in! And they score! Goals just seconds apart. Bellmore-Merrick 5-0 over Half Hollow Hills. And not only is it goals seconds apart, goals scored by the same player seconds apart. Anthony Vitale scoring at 9:05 and scoring at 8:59. Quick math on the back of a napkin will tell you that's 6 seconds. Vitale scoring 2 goals in 6 seconds. He's trying to make it 3. No, knocked off the stick. Right back out in front. He had a chance at the deflection. And a blocker save made by Tell. All gas, no break. Here from Bellmore-Merrick. Second goal hasn't even been inputted in the system just yet. Scored at 8:59. Prior to this, Half Hollow Hills had a shot advantage here in the second period. Matter of fact, they still do. As that shot goes wide, 5-3, after being healthily outshot in period number 1. Now breakaway chance, rolled off the stick. It's a good look there for Zinman. Now here come Half Hollow Hills the other way. Nice little drop. Carrying in, chance. Wouldn't go, that was Patsalos. Now 2-on-1 for Bellmore-Merrick. Pass across, one timed wide. It was in midair, tough play to make. There for number 8, Max Adelstein, looking for his second of the night. Deflects ahead, Patsalos chasing after it, joined by Huang. Sent around by Carasquillo. A nice little play off the boards, able to get it ahead to Luskov. Luskov slides down to the ice. Patsalos trying to go the other way, joined by Huang, and instead it's back on a Bellmore-Merrick stick. As Pasiccio will drop it back to his partner and right back in the zone. Half Hollow Hills zone. Menexis had some trouble with it, helped out by his defensive partner. And number 11, Dennis Manfredi. Right back come Bellmore-Merrick. 7:14 to go in the second period. Shot goes wide. 2 goals in the frame for the Bulldogs, and now a point shot is underneath Cooper Tell. Haven't gotten any live updates. Crew here is working on it. Lovely staff here at the Town of Oyster Bay Skating Center. Very friendly, always are. 5-zip Bellmore-Merrick, the defending champs, looking as good as ever. They responded in kind, by the way, to that loss to Long Beach with an 11-0 shutout victory at the hands of VSSL. Valley Stream, Monica Lindbrook. Shot denied there from Tell. Seems to have responded well to allowing those most two recent goals. Scored 6 seconds apart. Banked ahead. Both, or rather every goal of the game for Bellmore-Merrick has been about within 3 minutes of a prior goal scored by Bellmore-Merrick. Long shot is stopped by Tell. 6:04 left here in period number 2. Again, not a full strength lineup here for Half Hollow Hills tonight. Missing a number of their key contributors. But as is the reality of the New York Islanders High School Hockey League, whether it be injuries or other things going on. Here's Jet Lucas. Lucas across to Blessy, had it taken on the backhand and couldn't receive the pass from Lucas. As the Hornets had numbers going into the zone, something I have not been able to say very much at all. Very responsible defensive unit are Bellmore-Merrick. Along the far boards. Back into the corner. Blessy picks it out of the far corner. Puts his way back to the blue line. He'll drop it off. Brister toward the net, deflects wide. Mossbacher trying to go right back in. Arguably has been the Hornets' best forward tonight. Josh Mossbacher right back out in front. Another chance, still loose. Not sure if it was blocked or turned away by Legalia. The blue line, Menexis. Menexis one-time shot. Mossbacher missed the net wide. Took a bizarre carom off a stanchion, and away come Bellmore-Merrick. Into the zone, Lucas Lucci on the backhand. Lucci goes between the legs, back out in front. An alert stop made by Tell. Wolny, cross ice, try to bank one ahead for Huang. Good job by Zinman getting back. Lucci. Checking Lucas Lucci. Will skate away from the Half Hollow Hills forward. Into the offensive zone, Lucas Lucci. What a move. Lucci knocked off the puck. Good defensive play and losing a glove in the process there for Benson Huang. Menexis gets around one dog. Into the zone goes Peter Menexis. It's a 3-on-2, dragging and shooting. Menexis deflected wide. Antonio Pasiccio got in the way of it. Bellmore-Merrick breakout. 4 minutes to go here, second period. 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 5-0. The defending champs flexing their muscles on Half Hollow Hills. Glove down it, neutralized and carried in by Luskov. Luskov cuts across, shot. Leonard got the stick in, deflecting out of play. Right back down and around. Pense made, rebound. It wouldn't go. Getting the stick in and make the save. Incredible stop there from Cooper Tell. Right back toward the front of the net. Shot, Luskov, he scores! Jordan Luskov, third point of the night, second goal of the night. And his total on the year up to 23 for Jordan Luskov. Luskov came into this game having played one less game than POBIT, that's Plainview Old Bethpage Island Trees, holy mouthful. Forward, Daniel Lee, 38 points. Lucci, or rather Luskov, came into tonight with 34. He's up to 37. Two goals and an assist now for Luskov. Does he make it another? No, turned away and out of play off the glove of Cooper Tell. 6-0. Bellmore-Merrick leading Half Hollow Hills here live on the New York Islander High School Hockey League. Or live on the LI Sports Network covering the New York Islanders High School Hockey League. There we go. And a bit of a delayed, but a change coming here for Half Hollow Hills. Winsky, Mossbacher and company off. New unit on for the defensive zone draw. That's controlled by Bellmore-Merrick. Wrist shot from the point, deflects in! Carrasquillo took the initial shot. It was tipped on its way. And leading the handshake line is none other than Jordan Luskoff. The guy can't stop scoring. Hat trick for Luskoff. 4-point night for Luskoff. He's now tied with Daniel Lee between both varsity conferences for the most points in the New York Islanders High School Hockey League. And that goaltending change that looked like it might happen after or right at the end of period number 1 does in fact happen with 2:59 left in period number 2. Tell off DePaulo on. Goaltender making, I believe, his season debut for Half Hollow Hills. DePaulo, yes. Season debut. Welcome to the show, kid. And he'll make a quick save, and now sticking up for their rookie goaltender, our Half Hollow Hills. Bellmore-Merrick with a touchdown and an extra point up on the board. Mentioned they were being outshot in this second period. Since I said that, Half Hollow Hills did not register a shot on goal and have been outshot 7-0 since then. It is 23-11 in the game, 10-5 here in the second in favor of the Bulldogs. But the Bulldogs, they'll be shorthanded. Penalty assessed here to Leonard Soraya for slashing. Power play for Half Hollow Hills. They are 0 for 1 tonight. They score there! Blessy with the rip from the far circle, beating LaGallia over the shoulder. That's a Hornets power play goal. Scored by Alexander Blessy. Cuts the deficit to 6. Blessy now up to a team leading 17 goals on the year, his 29th point in what is his 11th game played for the Hornets. Will they potentially seize momentum? There are a bit of a miscommunication here. Wolney off the ice, DeGarry on the ice defensively, and Blessy fresh off the goal, applying the pressure on the forecheck, gets the takeaway. Blessy hits the break, Schrags middle, Blessy backhanded, looking for a rebound out in front, chance is there, it wouldn't go. With the look in tight was Jet Lucas, now that shot scores! And back-to-back Half Hollow Hills goals in just 21 seconds. First, Blessy on the power play, and then Blessy again. 5 aside, 7-2 is the score. Lucas and Stephen DeGarry picking up assists. Those were also the two involved in the power play goal for Blessy. So each of them with multi-point nights in just 21 seconds. If they keep up at this pace, they'll be back in the game in no time. Of course, that's not realistic. Don't tell that to Alexander Blessy, who steps through, drags, right back out on goal, and a quick look there for Lucas. Blessy digs it free, but right on to the stick of Bellmore-Merrick Sampana. Fires down ice, picked up by Vitale. Vitale shoved to the boards by DeGarry, picked up by Huang. Huang trying to backhand it ahead up the far boards, does get it to Blessy. Blessy cross ice to DeGarry. Stephen DeGarry picked it up on the backhand. Very nice play there by DeGarry, and now he'll send in. 2 assists tonight for Stephen DeGarry, as he is up to 11 points on the year. Carried in by Luskoff. Luskoff finds the open Soraya, or rather Sampana. Now back for a rip, they score! It's Vincent Sampana! And any
heroic comeback attempt for Half Hollow Hills might have very well been extinguished by that beautiful goal scored by Sampana. Vincent Sampana, his second point of the night. And Sampana on the year has now registered his second goal of the season. 11 assists is tied for second most on Bellmore-Merrick for Sampana. He did have an assist earlier tonight. Now a goal to go along with it. 8-2 in favor of Bellmore-Merrick over Half Hollow Hills. I mentioned Half Hollow Hills because Cooper Tell is now back in between the pipes. DiPaolo making his debut. Making a few saves in the process. Bellmore-Merrick right back into the zone. Swings around for Patsalos. Deflected ahead to Mossbacher. Mossbacher waits for help. Now carries over the zone. Over the line and a shot steered into the corner by Legalia. Chipped off the glass as period number 2 comes to an end. And in the period, 5 goals scored by Bellmore-Merrick, 2 for Half Hollow Hills, 8-2 after 2. You're listening to the New York Islanders High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. Third period on its way. How many more goals will we see here in this one? Welcome back to the Town of Oyster Bay Skating Center, site of tonight's New York Islander High School Hockey League matchup between the defending champs and looking like it, Bellmore-Merrick and Half Hollow Hills. Half Hollow Hills, discussion with their head coach before the game. Said it's disappointing that they obviously don't have the full lineup that they could boast. A quick shot denied there from Tell, who's, as I mentioned, back in between the pipes. After allowing another flurry of goals, he was subbed out for DiPaolo, and after DiPaolo allowed one, subbed right back in. Maddox Franks is the #1 goaltender for Half Hollow Hills. He's not here tonight. Here's Alexander Blessy, both goals in the game. Shot off the post! As Blessy was looking for the Hattie. Been a lone bright spot. He and I'd say Stephen Nagari have had great games. Nagari setting up both goals and has been a stalwart defensively. Peter Manex is worth mentioning as well. Leonard ahead to Benson Huang. As Huang, cross-corner dump, Blessy chases hard after it. Quickly played ahead by the Bulldogs. Along the near boards, losing it in between, fighting off the benches, now back out in front, and skips away from Jet Lucas. Jet Lucas also 2 assists in the game, both on those Blessy goals. But back to that conversation I was having with the head coach, and it's, he believes this Half Hollow Hills team could beat Bellmore-Merrick. But of course, helped out greatly by having a full lineup out there on the ice, as Bellmore-Merrick do have yet another complete lineup is. That is a flashy glove save made by Cooper Tell. He really has made a number of great saves tonight. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you let in maybe one or two that maybe you shouldn't. Combined with the fact that Bellmore-Merrick, they're just maybe too good. Too deep to compete with. They're the defending champs for a reason. That puck just escapes the stick of trying to keep it in the zone, Steven Simpkins. .13:22 left here. Third period. Joined alongside our production crew of Frank Potato and Rowan Laddick. I'm Ryan Brannigan. Faceoff will come down deep into the Bellmore-Merrick zone. I believe a high stick, the reason for it. Mossbacher has been another bright spot, I'd say. Not on the score sheet, but not due to lack of trying. Has been robbed a few times. Right off the ricochet, ripped wide. Streaking on in. Great rush up ice. I believe it's Cole Zinman again. Zinman, 2 goals in the game. He's on a quest for a hat trick. Right out in front. They score! There it is. Hat trick goal for Cole Zinman. And the lead for Bellmore-Merrick extended to 7 once more. 9-2. Over Half Hollow Hills. Early goings of the third period. Pardon me, Zinman, I misread the number. It's none other than Jordan Luskoff from Vitali and Sampana. That's Luskoff's 4th goal of the night, 5th point. He now sits alone atop the varsity points leaders between both conferences with 39 points, Jordan Luskoff. And he's quickly climbing that goals ladder as well. The leader in goals heading into tonight between both conferences is Damon Datlow of Friends North Shore with 25. Luskoff, with that goal, has matched that total. Sauced ahead, knocked down right back into the zone. Forechecking is Rao. On the loose puck is Harrison Araki. Dumped in by Max Adelstein. Shot blockered away by Cooper Tell. Puck out of the zone. Adelstein first on it. Cross-ice pass for Soraya. Soraya will dump in off the far boards. Leonard trying to feather one ahead. It was blocked and rolls harmlessly onto Tell, who covers up with the blocker. Half-Hollow Hills 5-8 this season. Or I should say they are 5-7-1. They have an overtime loss in one of the bigger upsets of the year. Bethpage defeating Half Hollow Hills after Half Hollow Hills earlier the year beat Bethpage 17-4. Bethpage winning that game in overtime. VSSL, Valley Stream, Sewantico, Lynbrook. 9 points, are 2 points back of Half Hollow Hills. .1 point clear of Bethpage. 7th place, our VSSLs. Icing has been called. We're getting down to the end of the season here, as you want to be playing your best hockey. Right now, seemingly playing their best hockey, Bellmore-Merrick. Up by 7, that shot blocked. As Manfredi got in the way of it. Gonna clear the zone, stolen away. Excellent play and shot wide from Parasquillo. Dogs trying to go right back down low, and they do with Luskoff. Or pardon me, with Lucci. Lucas Lucci handing off to Goldman. Back to Lucci. Lucci to the line where it's held in the zone by Zinman. Zinman a shot, missed the net wide. Picked up on the far boards by Jackson Jasak. Lucci, what a move. Lucci put it across, and Goldman turned aside by Tell. Leslie on the puck. Back in the corner, Manfredi. Stolen off his stick by Sampana off the bench. Stephen Nagari trying to break out for Hills. Takes a check to make a play as he got it ahead to Blessy. Blessy drops. Nice move. Blessy poked off his stick from behind. Still tries to keep the play alive along the ice and could not quite get it over to Jet Lucas. Now Bellmore-Merrick out of the zone. Goldman dropped it for Luskoff. Luskoff taken down. Officials got the call there. Bellmore-Merrick will go to the power play. Bellmore-Merrick power play. We'll get their second look of the game. They're 0 for 1. Another potential bright spot for Half Hollow Hills could be if they kill off both Bulldog power plays. See if that happens here. On the near boards, on back to Simpkins. Simpkins goes cross ice to Carasquillo. Had to take it on the skate. Now back with Carasquillo. Turned it down low. Sharp angle try off the post. Back out in front. And a stuff-in try. Puck kept out. Still loose out in front. A left pad save made by Tell. Rebound Young the post to keep that one out. Cooper Tell not quitting just yet, or at all rather, and had to make a number of grade A saves on that last sequence. Soraya with the opportunities out in front, as well as Jackson Austin. Austin carries in here, surrounded by Mossbacher and Wolney. Wolney trying to track back to the puck, taken back over by Austin. Jackson Austin carries to the near corner. Fired one across. Too hot to handle, and Mossbacher takes it away. Josh Mossbacher joined by Menexis on the near side. Mossbacher, wrist shot, save made, no rebound, Lagalia. Picks up his 17th save of the game on the short-handed look for Half Hollow Hills. 50 seconds left on the Bellmore-Merrick power play. 7:37 left in the third period. Face off in the defensive end, won by the Bulldogs. Goldman will take it out of the zone. Gets around Bolesi, or rather that's Lucci, 22. Lucci. Check by Leonard. Puts it in behind. Now on the stick of Parasquillo. Goes to the point. Back right across and unable to get all that shot. And then Leonard engaged with Lucci after the whistle. 16 seconds left on the Jet Lucas minor. Jet Lucas engaged in a conversation with the Bellmore-Merrick bench from the penalty box. He's out on the ice in 4 seconds. And looks like the Half Hollow Hills penalty kill will go 2 for 2. And they will in the game thus far. Which has 6 minutes, 38 seconds left on it. Cruising through neutral ice is Parasquillo. Throws it all the way across. A nice little move by Goldman. Puck left behind him. Lucas gets it ahead of Mossbacher. Lucas, Mossbacher joining the rush. Patsalos went behind Patsalos. Now coming out the other way, Bellmore-Merrick, but they have iced the puck. I think it was Parasquillo. Who it was he that opened the scoring, or rather got the second goal of the game. The 1:11 mark of the first period. 2:46 of the first period is when we had that opening goal scored by Max Adelstein. Off the draw win, chance for Manfredi, a long shot steered away by Legalia. Near side, Blessy. Swipes at it, keeps it in the zone for the moment. Mossbacher had to go. Now controlled by Carasquillo. Noah Carasquillo. Held in by Menexis, who looks to retrieve the puck for Half Hollow Hills. Instead, here it is the other way for Bellmore-Merrick. Taken away, Menexis carrying up ice. Peter Menexis looking to create some space, going wide. Slid it out in front. Unable to find a friendly stick in front of the net of Legalia. In behind Blessy. Blessy. Shadowed well by the Bellmore-Merrick defense. And they get it out of the zone. Luskov on the tape of Vitali, who hits the brakes, swiped away from him by Manfredi. Backhanded along the far boards by Pasiccio. Pasiccio works his way down the far boards. Manfredi trying to intervene. Luskov pokes it right back up top to Pasiccio, who lets one fly into the chest of Tell, who's got it underneath him. 4:51 to go, third period. 9-2, Bellmore-Merrick leading Half Hollow Hills. Listening live here on the LI Sports Network, where we've got so many games on the schedule for us tonight. Columbia is in action. New York Islander High School Hockey League games taking place in Long Beach. Suffolk County High School Hockey League games taking place at the rinks in Hauppauge. Dangling his way through. That's Naraki, a drive wide. Rebound goes through. They score. It looks like Cole Zinman will have, is that 16 or 18? That is 16. That's not Zinman. That's Leonard Soraya. And I believe that's Soraya's first goal of the night. Previously, Soraya was booked for a penalty. Double check if he, in fact, is the goal scorer, but really believe he is. His fourth of the year, it would be. It is Soraya from Naraki and Adelstein. 10th of the night for Bellmore-Merrick. And that just leaves 3 players point for the Bulldogs in this game. Jackson Jasak, Harrison Naraki. We'll check that. Didn't Naraki get an assist on that? Yes, he did. So no, Harrison Naraki does have a point tonight. That'll be soon updated. So just Jackson Austin and Jackson Jasak. If your name's Jackson, that's the thing, isn't it? Not allowed to get a point for Bellmore-Merrick. Oh, there's 4 minutes and 10 seconds to change that outcome from being a reality. Is puck in behind the Bulldogs, chasing after it in the near corner. as they've been chasing after the puck and long. And when I say chasing after the puck, I mean loose pucks. Living up to their namesake, a dog without a bone. It's been Bellmore-Merrick all night. Goldman carries ahead. Rather, that is Jackson Austin. Austin, can he get on the score sheet? No, off the mask of Tell. Rebound, right back out in front. And Mossbacher ahead to Menexis. Menexis, joined by Patsalos, potential odd man rush. Saucer pass deflected by Patsalos, just wide. And taking a spill in behind. Defensively there was Carasquillo. Back with Blessy. Blessy to Manfredi. Manfredi fires it down the far boards. Down and around for Patsalos in behind. Petro Patsalos. Out in front, swiped away. Here's Blessy in tight. The hat-trick goal for Alexander Blessy. Good effort, a good stick to set it up there from Peter Menexis. And Petros Patsalos instrumental in that Hills goal as well. It's 10-3. Alexander Blessy has the hat trick. And that hat trick puts Blessy's goal total this year up at 19. He also has 32 points, which sees him second in Varsity Conference 1, only to Jordan Luskoff. And in the grand scheme of both varsity conferences, Alexander Blessy in his 31 points have him tied with Daniel Sattler of Farmingdale for fourth most. 2:30 left here, third period. Outcome seemingly all wrapped up. But still points to be had, stats to be padded. Mossbacher fires in. Momentum to be gained in perhaps the following games to come, specifically for Half Hollow Hills. Bellmore-Merrick, they don't need any more help with any more momentum. They a freight train on in their own right as Jet Lucas drops here for Manfredi. Long shot Manfredi, and Legalia made the save with the glove. But ahead on the schedule for Half Hollow Hills following tonight's game. Just 2 left before the playoffs hit. And a very important game against VSSL, Valley Streams, Sewanaka Lynbrook. Coming up in 3 days from today. And they finish up their season with a potential first round playoff matchup against Manhasset Great Neck Port Wash on Wednesday, January 28th. And then it is playoffs time. Dangling through and poked away. Leonard back with it. Bellmore-Merrick, they have 3 games left after this. Game against Syosset. They beat Syosset 4-1 back on November the 24th. Game against Bethpage, who they shut out 15-0 on November 23rd. And they end their season against the Ice Falcons of East Meadow, who have yet to record a win this year. Oh and 12. I think even if it was just for fun, there's a Pat Med of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League yet to get a win this year as well. Sort of like a round robin of the teams that just wasn't their year. A swing and a miss backdoor would have been a surefire goal for Jackson Austin. It's not the night here, Jackson. Blessy, wrist shot looking for number 4, wouldn't be. Off the glove of Legalia. Final 34 seconds. One-time drive off the board, ricochet from Winsky, denied, and Winsky gesturing to the Bellmore-Merrick bench as they wooed the Winsky drive. Not sure if they're fellow travel teammates or it's something in jest, but either way, Bellmore-Merrick, all the right moves tonight. We're going to cruise to a 10-3 victory. All right, it didn't start that way. Cooper Tell was fantastic and held the Bulldogs off the board for the vast majority of that first period. But it felt like once they broke through, there was no putting the cap back on that explosion. That's the metaphor, isn't it? For ultimately scoring 3 goals in the matter of about 2 minutes. And that is pretty much all Bellmore-Merrick needed. The game-winning goal to Cole Zinman that made it 4-0. Back there in the start of period number 2, would be Zinman, who is getting credited with these goals. I think Vitale is the one who actually scored them. 19 looking awful lot like 18. But listed as Zinman, so we'll go with Zinman. We scored 2 goals in a matter of 6 seconds. And Jordan Luskoff, have yourself a night as per usual. Jordan Luskoff, dynamic once again for the Bellmore-Merrick Bulldogs. 5-point night. He is your leader in terms of points in the New York Islander High School Hockey League, both varsity conferences. That'll do it for our coverage here tonight. In this one, final score 10-3, Bellmore-Merrick rolling over Half Hollow Hills. On behalf of our entire crew, Frank Potetto running the camera, and producer Rowan Laddick, I am Ryan Brannigan saying so long until next time. If that next time is the Farmingdale M3 game against Stevens Tech, I'll see you there. Have a good night.